Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a pretty fundamental and sometimes frustrating truth of data science. Why even a brilliant state-of-the-art machine learning algorithm can churn out absolutely terrible predictions if its settings aren't tuned properly. Think about it like buying a brand new, high-end sports bike. I mean, even though the bike itself is incredibly powerful and literally built for speed, you still have to adjust the seat height, the mirrors, the tire pressure, and the suspension to get the absolute best performance for your specific body and the specific track you're riding on. Well, hyperparameter tuning works in the exact same way for machine learning models. So let's learn how to properly configure that machine learning engine so it actually performs the way it's supposed to.
Here is our quick roadmap for today. First up, what are hyperparameters? 2, we'll tackle the bias-variance trade-off. 3, testing and cross-validation. 4, we'll look at some common model settings. And finally, number 5, optimizing your model with grid search.
All right, let's jump right into section 1. What are hyperparameters?
So, building a machine learning model isn't just about picking a fancy algorithm out of a library. It's really about tweaking its controls to perfectly match your specific data set. Have you ever wondered why these quote-unquote smart algorithms sometimes make terrible predictions? It's honestly a super common frustration for beginners. You load up a powerful algorithm, you feed it perfectly clean data, and the output is just, well, entirely wrong. Why does that happen? It all comes down to the algorithm's settings. These settings dictate the fundamental rules of the learning process. Things like how fast the model learns patterns, how complex those patterns are allowed to be, and exactly which features it needs to prioritize. Without the right settings, your model is essentially flying blind.
Now, there is a totally critical distinction we need to make here between parameters and hyperparameters. Parameters are the internal variables that the machine learns directly from the data itself during training, kind of like the specific weights in a neural network. You don't set these yourself. Hyperparameters, on the other hand, are the structural settings chosen by you, the programmer, before the training even begins. Think of hyperparameters like the controls on an airplane dashboard, or even just the knobs on a radio. You tune them to the right frequency, and then the machine learns the rest of the song.
That brings us to section 2, the bias-variance trade-off.
So, what actually happens if we don't tune those radio knobs correctly? Well, a really natural temptation when your model isn't accurate enough is to just add complexity. More layers, more depth, more features. But doing that usually leads to a really dangerous pitfall known as overfitting. Overfitting happens when your model essentially memorizes the training data, and that includes all the random noise and outliers, but it completely fails to generalize when you expose it to new, unseen test data. It's exactly like memorizing the answer key to a practice test instead of actually learning the subject material.
This exact balancing act is known as the bias-variance trade-off. If you have a simple, underfitted model, it has high bias and low variance. It's basically a rigid line that completely misses the underlying trend. But then, on the flip side, you have the wobbly, overfitted model. It has high variance and low bias. Sure, it connects every single dot perfectly, but it's just memorizing the noise. Our ultimate goal with hyperparameter tuning is to find that sweet spot right in the middle, a model that successfully captures the true underlying pattern without getting distracted by all the random noise.
Moving right along to section 3, testing and cross-validation.
To solve this bias-variance trade-off and actually find that perfect sweet spot, we need a safe, controlled environment to test our settings before we just deploy our model into the wild. We always start by taking our dataset, randomizing the rows to remove any sequential bias, and splitting it up. A super common approach is a 70-30 or 80-20 split. So we train the model on the 70% and we strictly hide that remaining 30%. This hidden test data acts as our final exam to verify if the model actually learned the core patterns or if it just overfit and memorized the training set. If your error rate is really low on the training data, but it suddenly spikes on the test data, yep, you've overfit.
But here's the catch. What if you have a smaller data set? Withholding 30% for testing can actually starve your model of valuable training examples. So, to get around this, we use an absolutely brilliant technique called k-fold cross-validation. Here's how it works. We split our data into k number of equal-sized buckets. Let's just say 5 buckets for now. The model trains on 4 of those buckets and tests on the one remaining bucket. But then, it rotates. It repeats this process 5 times, so every single bucket gets a turn acting as the hidden test data. Then all the results are averaged out. This completely maximizes our data usage and gives us a highly reliable evaluation of our hyperparameters. It's a real game changer.
This whole process gives us an incredibly robust, step-by-step machine learning lifecycle. You prepare and clean your data, You split it or set up your cross-validation buckets, you select your algorithm, you tune those hyperparameters, and finally, you evaluate the performance. Think of it exactly like cooking a complex recipe. You don't just throw everything in a pot and hope for the best. You taste it, you adjust the spices, those are your hyperparameters, and you taste it again until the flavor is perfectly balanced. Okay, Section 4, Common Model Settings. So, we understand the theory now, but what do these specific dashboard controls actually look like when we dive into different algorithms? Well, different algorithms have entirely unique hyperparameters. If you're building a decision tree, for example, you might tune the max_depth to stop the tree from growing way too many branches and overfitting. For a random forest, you're going to tune n_estimators, which dictates exactly how many individual trees are voting in your forest. And for neural networks, you'll definitely be adjusting the learning_rate, which controls the step size the model takes as it updates its weights. If that learning rate is too big, it overshoots the optimal solution completely, but if it's too small, your model is literally going to take forever to train.
To put that into perspective, let's look at an actual Python snippet for a gradient boosting algorithm. You can see the specific hyperparameters being set right there inside the code. We've got n_estimators set to 150, the learning rate is at 0.1, and the max_depth is capped at 4. We even have a loss parameter set to Huber, which dictates how the model calculates its error rate and protects itself against outliers. Changing literally any one of these numbers will directly dictate the model's processing speed and its final predictive accuracy.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 5, Optimizing with Grid Search.
Knowing what to tune is great, right? But the million-dollar question here is, how do we find the absolute best combination of all these settings without just manually guessing for hours and hours? The answer is automation. With Grid Search, you essentially hand the computer a menu of options. You tell it, hey, try depths of 3, 5, and 7, and try learning rates of 0.1 and 0.01. The computer then systematically tests every single possible combination of those options through an automated voting process to mathematically find the optimum setup.
If you're working in Python's scikit-learn library, this is all done using a function called grid search. And guess what? The CV stands for cross-validation. So not only is it methodically testing every combination of hyperparameters, it is safely cross-validating each of those combinations across different buckets of your data to ensure it isn't overfitting. Now, because it's exhaustively testing every possible combination, it can be pretty computationally expensive and take quite a long time to run. But it virtually guarantees you will find the absolute best dashboard settings for your specific dataset.
All right, let's bring this all together. To summarize our key takeaways, never, ever evaluate your final model on the data it trained on. Always protect your test data. Your primary goal in tuning is to balance the bias-variance trade-off, finding that perfect sweet spot between a model that's too simple and one that just memorizes noise. Maximize your data usage with k-fold cross-validation, and please, instead of guessing, automate your tuning process using grid search to methodically find your optimal configuration.
By mastering hyperparameters, you transition from simply running basic algorithms to truly engineering intelligent systems. Now that you know exactly how to adjust the seat, the mirrors, and the suspension of your machine learning sports bike, it's time to take it out of the garage. When you unleash your newly tuned model on real-world data, will it uncover a massive breakthrough? Or is it just going to memorize the noise? The power is entirely in your hands. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy tuning.